how the investigation agencies are finding increasingly difficult and challenges in investigating and coming to conclusion of most of the cases. With this, over to Mr. Joshi.
Good evening, panelists. Good evening, everyone. First, I'm thanking Dr. Mailwagan for giving me such an opportunity. So, we already had a well discussion on the challenges, contemporary issues and challenges in the Indo-Pacific. So, what I feel or what I would like to give an input is that when we are comparing to when we have to have a say or a command in any position or area, we have to be careful about the internal security also. When we are facing issues in our frontiers, let it be with China or the Pakistan, the other countries are trying to make issues in an internal security. Let it be in the terrorism or related offenses or the left-wing extremism, smuggling, taking the counterfeit notes, let it everything be. So what happens is that um, these countries are trying to push terrorist and other related activities to India, and for that, we had formulated the National Investigation Agency to to curb and investigate this kind of terrorism-related offenses. We started NIA on 26 after the aftermath of the 26/11 Mumbai terrorist attack, and officially NIA was formulated on December 31st, 2009. The main intention, the main idea of NIA is to investigate cases related with terrorism, the scheduled offenses, primarily the uh, law and order is vested with state agencies. But when the issues, when the smuggling cases or FICN cases related comes with different cross-border or cross-country, it has been very difficult for agencies to investigate these cases. That is the reason why we had formulated the National Investigation Agency through a particular act. So, so the main thing was is that the Pakistan or other countries trying to. We recently had intelligence inputs stating that the Pakistan all are the hideouts near the borders are very much active recently, and they're trying to push more terrorists into our country. So the main issue is that when we have to look into the investigation of terrorism and related offenses, the cases which charged with the NIA are still pending. So I'll share a screen with that. Okay. So challenges investigation. This is the cases charged charged with NIA per year. In 2019 is less than 10, and when it comes to 2019 is more than 60 cases per year. So what we have, what's our basic understanding is that NIA is a premier agency and it is investigating and punishing all the culprits related to terrorism and related offenses. So when we come into the reality, more than 315 cases has been registered with the NIA till now. The website of the NIA clearly states that we have the what the conviction rate is more than 90% when they are calculating the cases is to 60. That is uh, the cases which has at least partially judgment pronounced. So when we come into the reality, more than 315 cases has already registered. Even that, more than 50% are still under investigation. That means we have to look deeply into the crisis of NIA. We all have the feeling that NIA is working perfectly to curb terrorism and related offenses. But the main issue with the NIA is that more than 52% of the cases are just still under investigation. Merely only 19 cases out of this 315, 19 cases of 315 are only judgment pronounced, fully judgment pronounced cases, and including partial judgment, it is only less than 50 cases. So we have to look upon it. The major reasons for this challenge, the major challenge in investigating terrorism, there is only be a the terrorism can be curbed only when there is a situation where these culprits or those who are doing this kind of activities are punished under the law. When there is no issues happening with these culprits, there is a high chance that the terrorism can be increased, and we can see that as per the increase in the case charge per year. So the main issue is the center state relation, the political indifferences. The agencies are there are many allegations stating that the agencies are politically influenced. Recently, the Mumbai High Court also criticized the agency for delaying in trials. So the center-state relations, when a state government or central government use their political influences on any case, there is a high chance that the agency could be, uh, could be, the investigating chances would be altered. So that is a major issue with that. That is why we have always saying that the center-state relation has to be cordial, or there has to be a proper investigative channel. Then comes the recruitment of that. Okay, the major the National Investigation Agency senior officials are already on the deputation basis. They come from other officials, like the IPS officer come to the NIA for a limited period of time. On those times, there's a high chance that they can be, there's a post recruitment chances for after this time. So there's also high chance that they can be altered. Then the NIA lacks a special wing of intelligence, and there is no provisions for preventing crimes. The NIA Act has clearly mentioned about the data to get support from different agencies, but it lacks the proper provisions for data sharing. It's not very much clear on the data sharing procedures. So what happens is that there can be some, if one agency decided to prevent data sharing, the state can do it, the center can do it. So such times the issue arises. We have been discussing about the need of a national counter-terrorism center for a long time, but the political and other administrative issues are delaying it for so long time. It is very much essential that we have to have a proper national investigation level agency properly to investigate these cases. So very recently we can see that the terrorism is not just like using weapons and all. It can be considered the pushing of smuggling of goods, like gold and all. Very recently, even in the Kerala, the diplomatic channels has been misused for gold smuggling and all. This is a serious threat for national security. And even yesterday itself, the MHA has ordered the National Investigation Agency to investigate upon that. But when we are looking into the status of the cases charged with the NIA, it is very serious thing. We have to decide upon that. So we have to make the NIA more stronger with that by making the recruitment more for a long-term basis rather than just mere deputation basis. And we should make it more powerful by giving them making the administrative system more apolitical, and by providing them a separate wing for intelligence and data sharing among other agencies. The other important aspect, the major other issue with our state is facing is the left-wing extremism along with these kind of terrorist-related offenses. So let me be the left-wing extremism. The government has already facilitated many social development measures. The main issues the left-wing extremists usually put upon is that the social issues, like the lack of roads, lack of infrastructure facilities and all. So our governments are already initiated so many programs for the welfare of for these tribal people. As these tribal and the marginalized sections are majorly the supporters of left-wing extremism. So when we look in deep into that, many social welfare measures are not reaching ground. I have made a small error with the presentation. So sufficient social measures are not reaching the grassroots level. That is the issue. Because when we consider the case of, let it be my nearby state Attapadi or the Chatra district of Jharkhand, the most affected Naxal state. When we come to the case of Attapadi, when the Kerala state has been moving to a online education system with TV or something, even it's been after a month, the places in rural areas in Attapadi are not getting enough TV or something like that. So we have to compare these kind of social development to the internal security aspect also, because when we are structurally marginalizing a set of people, there is a high chance that they could support the left-wing extremism and related issues. So the government, the Ministry of Home Affairs, separate wing for left-wing extremism, has already many schemes like security-related expenditures, special central assistance, special fund scheme. Like these are programs worth crores, hundreds of crores. But the issue when we come to the case of Attapadi or the Chatra district, very recent study shows that the minority only have bank accounts there, and they are not using these financial government schemes. So all these are showing that the social developments are not reaching the grassroots level. These issues has been utilized by the terrorist wing, and when the institutional level, our agencies are drawing a lot back. They're drawing a lot back. So we have to emphasize much upon the social development aspect as well as the development of or proper infrastructure development, like institutional development. I'm saying that is we have to make it the NIA more stronger, and it has to be apolitical. We have to maintain it more clear with that. So these are the basic ideas I have to mention. So in environment, we have when we have to face an external threat, we have to first identify our internal threat, and we have to scrutinize, we have to solve it. We have institutions for it, but we are not properly using it. That's what these studies and graphs are showing. So I suggest that we have to make it more proper, and we have to make the agency more better. So in my concluding remark, I'll say that we had to get more international cooperation on these issues, and we should focus much on social development aspect, so that it is high time the security certain experts have to include the social development aspect also in security matters.
Thank you, Mr. Joshi.